All right, here we go. Number 6. I'm Al, and learning how to use Buildbox. I'm going through the make your own game go- stuff. Yeah. Okay. Play.
Let's click on the menu editor button in the up.
I added some coins. I found them. I didn't know where they were, and so I found them. So it looks like we're doing in this video menu stuff and sounds.
Or left, and Buildbox will take us up into the menu editor. And now let's double click on our main menu user interface. At the bottom of the window is where we will find the options to animate menu elements. Let's say whenever we open this menu, like when the game starts, we want the title to come down from the top and the start button to come up from the bottom. Let's start with animating the title. Let's select the title, and at the bottom, where the movement editor is, let's select Open, as this is the animation we want to happen anytime we open this menu. Let's push the record button so we are in record mode, and now let's move our title off screen towards the top. Remember, we can zoom out using the mouse scroll button, and move the scene around using the space bar while we click and drag. Alright, so as long as the record button is enabled like it is, once we get our title into position and let go of the mouse button, Buildbox will record the position data at that frame, which we are at frame 0, and we see a green bar added to the movement editor. These green bars signify a position point for Buildbox to use, and we can add quite a few things we want Buildbox to record, as you can see if we expand the movement editor at the bottom. If we want to rotate the title, Buildbox will remember the rotation
How did you get there?
And as we feed Buildbox more position, we expand the movement editor at the bottom. If we want to rotate the title, use, and we can add quite a few things we want Buildbox to record, as you can see if we expand the movement editor at the bottom. If we want to rotate the title, Buildbox will remember the rotation at that frame. As we feed Buildbox more position points along the timeline, Buildbox will extrapolate everything in between forwards, much like you saw in the particle emitter in part 5. Remember how we talked about different settings for that particle start size and end size, and how the emitter would do all the work to animate the particle so that it met the requirements we set forth in the options? The movement editor extrapolates movement in the exact same manner. We just need to tell Buildbox what we want things to look like at what frame, and Buildbox does all the magic for us. So now let's move our orange frame bar to the next point in time that we want to record a position point, say 20 frames in, and let's drag our title to the position we want it at, and let go of the mouse button. When we do this, we see another green position point added to our timeline at the bottom. Let's take a look at what happens now when this menu opens. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that get the gears turning in your head about all sorts of neat ways to animate menus? Alright, let's go back into the editor.
Gears are slowly turning.
Let's rewind our orange timeline marker back to frame 0 and shift drag our start button off screen. Remember, we can hide or lock things in the menu tree so we can select and move things easier. And when we let go of the mouse button, we see a green position marker added to the timeline for the start button. Now let's drag our orange timeline marker to frame 20, where we had our title come to rest. Now we can drag our start button.
Why don't I have the title here? This is the background. This is the sides. Here we go. It's right here. But let's just label this now. Player start. Okay. Nope. Block that. Select. Shift. Okay, then same thing. Select that. And Start. This time. Damn it. There we go. Ooh, I want to do it with the side too, yeah. No, player. Start at 0. Do this. Then add. Oh, can I only hit 10? Yeah, I guess so. And I don't know if I can move it. Yeah. How does that work? I don't know. And at 20, have it over here. Cool. Let's see how that works. Fuck yeah. Okay.
To where we want it, and when we let go of the mouse button, we see another position point recorded for our start button. Let's have a look at this now. This is really getting cool. We can also play with what we have inside the editor so we don't have to preview our game every time. Just take the editor off record and bring our orange frame marker back to 0 and play it. Let's animate our character to fade in off the wall as it comes to its resting point. Let's hide everything but the walls and the character and lock the walls, and let's zoom in where it's nice and easy to see. Now we have our title and start button coming to rest at frame 20, and I want our character to be exactly where it is now at frame 20.
Wait,
but I want it to fade in.
Background. Game. Start. What do you want?
With some movement. So let's select the character. And at frame 20, let's click in the position boxes and just hit enter. This will force Buildbox to record a position point. Then at frame 20, let's set the opacity to 1. Then we can bring our orange timeline marker to frame 0 and move our character more against the wall and set the opacity to 0. And let's take off the record button and play the movement editor and have a look. This looks really cool, and this is what will happen when we open this
My
event.
shit's cooler.
Let's click on the different stages because I want you to notice something. At frame 20 is where we have our open sequence come to rest. So if we change our frame count to 20, once the open sequence plays, the idle sequence will start. But if we click on the close sequence, you can see we didn't put the title and start button back to where we originally had it. So let's make sure we are on frame 20 and record is enabled. And let's copy and paste our positions from the start and title items from the close sequence to the open sequence. And now let's preview our menu. This is looking great. Now we'll get into the idle animation sequence by animating the start button by giving it a little shake. Remember I mentioned before that Buildbox animates at 30 frames per second, so 60 frames will give us a 2-second loop. Let's hide everything but the start button and get our timeline marker to frame 0 and enable record and select the rotation timeline. And let's make sure we force Buildbox to record a position point by clicking in the rotation option.
Start.
And just hitting enter, and we see the position marker appear in the timeline. Let's do the same at frame 10, but now at frame 12, 14, 16, and 18. Let's cook up a little shape by changing the rotation between -2 and 2 degrees until again recording 0.
Record, but I can't hit these specific ones. Oh. Oh. No, I don't understand. My Is that getting recorded?
At frame 20 in the timeline. Let's do the same at frame 10, but now at frame 12, 14, 16, and 18. Let's cook.
I'm not trying to change the scale. Why are these lit up? Don't light up. Did I change the scale? Oh, shit, that's upside down.
By clicking in the rotation option and just hitting enter, and we see the position marker of here in the timeline. Let's do the same at frame 10, but now at frame 12, 14, 16, and 18. Let's cook up a little shape by changing the rotation.
Enter. Ah, yay. Maybe it's over here. Enter. Oh, nope, that's upside down. Ooh, I don't know how that works. Here, rotation, enter. Okay, rotation, enter. So that did something. It doesn't look like that's okay. What? Don't be weird. All right, maybe I'm just gonna add a negative. Yeah, wait. Then move this over here and do like 14. Then over to 20 and do negative 14. And then 21, I'm thinking, 21, 0.
-2 and 2 degrees until again recording 0 at frame 20. Now let's unhide everything and preview our game. This is looking pretty good. Let's go into the menu editor by clicking on the menu editor button in the upper left.
Minus the whole thing. What? Like it does it after it moves up. Maybe it's supposed to do that. I don't know. Let's keep going.
And double click on the game over menu. Let's give some movement to our buttons when we open this menu. Let's hide everything but the buttons. Making sure record is enabled and we are on frame 0, let's drag them out to the sides. Then at frame 20, we will put them back in the middle, but this time, let's just get our original...
Oh, it's already recording. Did I have to select that, or? I don't remember, and that's okay. Come on. Perfect.
Positions from our close sequence. Now I want that to be the end of the opening sequence before the idle sequence starts. So let's change the frame count to 20 so it ends when they get to the middle. Now let's go to idle and give our game over some scaling animation.
Oh, because one is for when the game is idle, and then the other is for when the game is active. Oh, because like if you're just waiting to hit play, or you're just, I don't know, looking at the sky, that's idle. Oh, okay, so open is when it begins and close is when it finishes. Oh, got it. Making sense.
Hide everything but the game over graphic and get it selected and it to be the enabled, and we are on frame 0. Let's drag them out to the side.
Yeah. I feel like this is what it's open, record.
Then at frame 20, we will put them back in the middle, but this time, let's just get our original positions from our close sequence. Now I want that to be the end of the open.
I think that's good for the open. And then here, from the close. Is that right? No, maybe.
Sequence before I drag them out to the sides. Then at frame 20, we will put them back in the middle, but this time, let's just get our original positions from our close sequence. Now I want that to be the end of the open sequence before the idle sequence starts.
I was actually looking at my screen, but I think essentially it's like grab the position, right? X, Y. Game over, position, boom, close, main menu, 290, 160, 290, shit. Oh. What is the X position? 320. 320. Okay, so open. 320. 320. Perfect.
So let's change the frame count to 20, so it ends when they get to the middle. Now let's go to idle and give our game over some scaling animation.
Wait a minute. My frame count was set to 40. Did that not stay? Okay, I think we're fine.
Let's hide everything but the game over graphic and get it selected and enable record in our timeline at frame 0. And let's hit enter in the scale options to force Buildbox to record a position point and move our timeline to frame 20. Now let's hold shift to scale the game
But I thought this already did that.
Graphic up. No.
How do I preview the game over scene? Yeah. I feel like I'm doing it twice. I'm just gonna watch.
And now let's get to frame 40 and type in 1 to 1. Now let's take our timeline off of record and have a look at our animated menus in our game. We could spend a whole lot more calories getting all sorts of neat things animated in the menu.
That's cool.
I think watching this
Put it in 20. Make it bigger. Wait, did that save? Kinda works. Close, you should be fine. Open, you should be fine. Idle. Big, small. $20. I think that was it. I'm just gonna control save. It's like when you make the changes, they automatically save, but the game itself does not necessarily save. I feel like this is too big actually. Hold on. Command Z. Nope. Nope. What? Nope. Nothing. Oh snap. It's supposed to be big. Game over here is 1 to 1. Here, here is 1. And this is where the play button is. Okay, I see. That looks kind of weird. Ah, that's why. Maybe. Alright, whatever. Let's see how it looks in the game. So it doesn't loop forever. Oh, hey, hit that loop button and hit that pause button. Maybe instead of it getting bigger, make it get smaller. So 20 frames to 30 frames. Stop. I kind of want these to like disappear. Like, look, 1, 1. Whatever. Ooh. Okay, that's I don't. Okay, whatever. Game over. 1 to 1. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, cool. I grab that and so here. Maybe I grab this and slide it. Yeah, learning how to use the Buildbox. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, okay, it's nothing. Yeah, perfect.
Video a few times will arm you with enough information for you to really cook up something neat in your game menus.
Yeah, I like it.
Alright, so let's talk about sound.
Yours looks better.
No game is complete without music and sound effects. Although it is in style to not include music in some games today,
And that's
we will
in
just give our
style.
player the option to mute it if they so desire. So let's start by bringing some music into the game. To hear music in the game, we actually need to load music into the user interfaces that we use. Having just animated our game over menu, let's go back up into the menu editor and put music in the game over menu that will get triggered every time it loads. You can see the option for music here. Just drag an MP3 into that slot and you're done. It's that simple. Now when the game over menu is loaded, Buildbox will play that music until it encounters another UI with music on it. So if we wanted a different song to play when the game goes back to the main menu, we would select our game's main menu and add music there. But keep in mind that each menu our game loads will load that music. So if our player is dying a lot and restarting different music over and over and over, that might get really annoying. So one way to avoid this is to put music on just the start menu, and then no other menu would trigger or re-trigger music. And if we already added the music we want to another menu, we can just add it here without dragging it in again. Alright, let's talk about sound effects. And the perfect place to start is right here.
First question is where is the music? Is there no music in this bad boy? Got new enemies. Character. Glitch extra. Coin. Power up counter. Power up. Pause. Main menu. That's not what this is. Alright, so it looks like there's no sound. I think I have sound somewhere. Let me search. All right, well, you know, that 100 G's worth of Buildbox stuff. Here we go. Right there. Sounds. Game sounds. Yeah. So let's move this over here. Let's not block my beautiful face. And yeah, cool.
Our main menu. We have options to add sounds to a lot of different things in Buildbox, including buttons in our menus. So let's drag an MP3 into the click slot of our start button here, and let's hear it work. If we wanted to add the same sound to the other buttons in the other menus, just like the music, we don't have to drag it in again. We can just...
Sorry, let's just get this ambient music set up first. Play. Yeah, not exactly what I was thinking, but let's see. I wish there was a way to turn it down too. All right, let's go back to the video because we got to put a sound with the pause button, and that is a user interface. Taps. Maybe clicks.
Box, including buttons in our menus. So let's drag an MP3 into the click slot of our start button here, and let's hear it work. If we wanted to add the same sound to the other buttons in the other menus, just like the music, we don't have to drag it in again. We can just select it in the slot. Let's put the same sound in our pause menu buttons and our buttons we just animated in the game over UI.
Ah, here we go. That's cool. That's really cool.
As well. Now that we have animated our game over menu and added sounds to the button, there are some options we need to look at when the player dies that concern how soon the game over menu gets loaded. So let's look at some bonus info I have for you in this video. Let's double click our world node and select our character in the assets panel. And in the options panel to the right, let's have a look at some options from the defeat animation down to the game over effects. We can trigger a sound to play when the player dies by dragging in an MP3 into the defeated sound slot.
Defeated. No. Defeated. Cute death. Cyber death. Cyber death cute 1. Yeah, that's it. Defeated. Defeated. Nope. So, cyber death cute. Okay.
Now when we die,
it's the same
we
one.
should hear the defeated sound play. You will also notice that a few things happen before the game over menu loads. We see our player turn into a particle effect. We see a camera shake and a camera flash. Let's take a look at these
I did not notice that. Is that new? Did that just happen?
The defeated animation can be changed. We can just drag any image or PNG sequence into the option. You just adjust the speed at which the frame.
Slow down, slow down. Oh, I don't think it's here. Yeah, I think can't go. It's weird. I don't know if there's something in there now or not. Be right back. Got soup.
Play, looping it if we wanted to, but if we didn't want to option, you just adjust the speed at which the frames play.
What are you talking about? Where? Here. Do I go into this? Yes. Frames 15. I thought this was multiple. Defeated animation. It doesn't look like an animation to me. Maybe I have to hit play. Okay, yeah. So 0, 10. Okay, if it does the amount. Okay, so if it's like 30 frames, 60 frames. So it just depends. So that's the only defeat I have. Yeah.
Looping it if we wanted to, but if we didn't want to loop it and we wanted to give the death animation time to play out, we would have to set our game over effects properly. Game over delay is in.
Wait, I want this last one to be scale 0.25, 0.25. So no, but then here, stop. Here, I want you to be 1 and 1. But there's no record button, so I'm not really recording anything. I'm just looking at it. Okay.
Seconds. So a 2 in here would give us a 2-second delay from the time the player dies to the time the game over menu loads. Camera shake and camera flash is the same as it is in the actions that we covered in part 5. It is also in seconds. Let's make our camera shake 1.5 and our flash 0.25. Fall attribute is a setting that if set to a non-zero value, it will cause the character to fall with the gravity or direction of the game, and the number represents how much the character will bounce before falling. So this is great for platformers, but also works with our game, because if we set this to 0, we see our player pretty much stops dead. The game over mechanics play out, so let's make that 0.5. Alright, so some bonus info wrapped around animating our game over menu and adding our defeated sound. Let's add some other sounds into the game. Let's select our swirly enemies here, give them some sounds to play when they wake up, And also, let's give our bumper a taking damage sound so that every time we trigger that cool taking damage animation that throws us up against the wall, it also plays a neat sound. Let's add a sound to our invincibility power up and also to our coins. And let's hear our game really come together for the first time.
Slow down. See. Coins. Bonus sound to action. Start sound. Invincibility. Be that one. What else we got? Barrier. Okay. Yeah, why don't you do a coin sound? Wake up sound? I don't know. Enemy. Fall sound? I don't know. Nope. Oh no, that's not good. Enemy. See, it's not going away. That's a bug. If I just add like an object or something. Yeah, and then just delete it. Sound, I don't know, falling sounds like wake up sound. Wake up sound. Barrier has a sound. Yeah, you don't need a sound. Okay, let's just give this a go. Jesus, that's loud. Did the barrier make a sound? No. Well, the defeated had a sound for sure. What did you put the sound on the barrier?
Invincibility power up. The sound.
Take damage sound. Oh. There we go. Nice. Cool. That was great. That was good for the sound. And until next time, I think next we're doing making multiple game modes. Cool.